Welcome to this week's episode of On the Same Wavelength. Today I'm sitting with Just. We're going to be talking about his new album.
So it's been released on SoundCloud and on YouTube.
Yep.
And then it's going through the process of being released on Apple Music and Spotify and everything else. So it should be out on Friday or next week, Monday.
Oh, sick, yeah. So tell us a little bit about it before we...
Okay, so the idea with the album was that we're going to make 8 songs, and each song in the project is going to be based off of a colour.
Yeah, cool.
So the way we did that, there is 5 people in my group: myself, Jared, Jack, Charlie, and Haj. And so each of the audio students, we had 2 colours each that we were going to do. Mine were blue and purple. So we had to do a bit of research on the colours and kind of find out the common emotions and feelings that people mostly get from those colours and what they bring across usually. And then we had to try translate that into a musical kind of term, musical sense.
Yeah, cool.
So I think it worked out pretty well. I think we definitely hit the mark of what we were trying to do with the project, and I'm pretty happy with it.
Yeah, for sure. It sounds sick. Well, we'll show you a little snippet from Purple because that was probably one of my favorites. I thought that was
thanks.
A really nice song. So yeah, check it out.
Got me staying at the top. All I see purple rain like I'm a prince. New pinnacles I hit. This shit ain't making sense. Acting so mysterious. Royalty, and don't forget, we on.
Finally got, because we've been trying to get water and stuff. Decent sized cups, because we had these tiny little cups in the last one. This is like a fucking bowl. I don't know, at what point does it become a bowl? If it has a handle, is it?
My brother's got a mug that's like that but a bit bigger, and he uses it for noodles and that. It's literally half mug, half bowl.
I don't know, man. I feel like this is a bowl. But yeah, it's good for here because I get thirsty.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, what kind of got you into music? Because obviously you're a producer, mixing, and you rap and stuff.
Yeah. So I've been doing music related things for a while. For most of my life I've been either playing an instrument or usually when I was a lot younger it was mainly just instruments I played. So I think I started off playing violin when I was 3 years old or something.
Oh, dope.
Yeah.
Do you still play?
Nah, not at all. I probably wouldn't know what to do with a violin if I saw one.
Yeah,
but
right.
I played that for a while actually, until I was about 10ish or something like that.
Yeah.
And then after that, I picked up the drums. They were sick. I love drums.
Nice.
Yeah, I can still play drums at the moment. That's so much fun.
Yeah, cool. I'm a drummer as well. So
True.
My main instrument. But yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah.
I love drums.
Yeah, same. But after that, I've played a few other instruments, and then I got into the guitar as well when I was about 17, 18 kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then that's around the age where I started more thinking of it was a bit after that, but that's kind of where I started kind of more wanting to get into actually making music rather than just playing it and listening to music.
Yeah.
So the only thing was when I started off, I was in Albany, which is a pretty small town, and no one was really doing anything music related down there. So it was kind of difficult for me to want to just jump into it completely all on my own without any knowledge of how to do anything like that.
Yeah.
And without knowing anyone who does that. So I kind of I tried. I kind of dabbled a little bit at first, but I didn't really know enough. So I kind of held off a bit. And then once I moved up to Perth, my mate Jack Jerovich, who I knew from Albany, he lived a couple roads away from me. So we just started producing and making beats together every day and rapping a bit and stuff like that.
Just on Ableton and stuff?
Yeah. So that was the first time I ever saw Ableton. And, it looked like alien technology to me at first.
The first time, I remember when I was I think I was 16.
Yeah.
I downloaded a trial of FL Studios.
Yeah.
And I remember I opened it up and I was I don't know what the fuck's going on here. And I made this beat. It was just drums, I think is all I made. And I was oh, that's pretty cool. And then I went to save it and it was you're not allowed to save because it's just a trial. And I was what? And then I downloaded Ableton. It was Ableton Lite and similar thing. I opened it. I was just I don't know what any of this is.
Yeah. No, I went through the exact same process. I had, because when I saw my mate Jack using Ableton, I was this is sick. I want to start doing something like this, but I didn't want to fork out $1,000 or something like that for Ableton. So I just got the free trial of Fruity Loops. I used that for a bit, but same deal. I didn't really know what I was doing. Moved on to Ableton again for a while. Didn't know what I was doing, and then just from just from like doing that every day and kind of hanging out with Jack a fair bit and just kind of like taking it seriously. Because at first when I started, it was kind of just for fun, but then I kind of like decided that I want to actually like take it seriously and get as much as I can out of it.
Yeah.
And so that's also like around the time when I decided to enroll in SAE, just to kind of further my knowledge on it a bit and just, learn as much as I can about it.
Right. So you were just kind of doing it for fun until you came here and now
pretty much. Yeah. Because like,
Sorry, bro.
My bad. But yeah, like for a while when I was like doing music and that, I didn't really know like that was actually what I wanted to like pursue and do. So yeah, it was just fun for the most part at first, definitely.
And now it's kind of becoming a bit more of a career.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, right. Recently I've actually started like getting a few sessions going at my house. I'm trying to get like paid sessions, get people coming in to record and all of that. So yeah, that's going all right so far. Slow process to start off, but yeah.
So like producing for other people?
Yeah, and also like recording them and like mixing their tracks and all of that.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. Hopefully I'm trying to get to the point where I can just do it all, like record them, mix, master, like to the finished product. Yeah. I think I can do that at the moment, but I want to get a bit more practice with the mastering stage until I'm like completely confident in doing that.
Yeah, I know how you feel. I'm similar with mastering. It's like it's tough, man.
Yeah.
And like,
oh yeah, for sure.
I remember I spoke to Ryan about it, and he was basically just like, you need to be like really involved in audio for a long time to be good at mixing, because you can't hear half the shit that people are doing in a master. Sorry, I said mixing before. In a master, because it's so like minor, the changes.
And 100%.
I don't know. I struggle with it.
Yeah, a lot of the times I go to this dude I know, Max. He's got a studio and he's got he's great. He does a great job with mastering. Mastering is kind of his specialty. Yeah, and he's got like equipment on equipment on equipment, and like a lot of this stuff, like I'm kind of like getting a bit more of an ear for it now. But still, like half the stuff he does, he'll like bypass it on off, and then I'll be like, what did that actually do?
Yeah,
I can't really hear the difference.
I think I hear something, and like I don't know if I'm making it up. Like I'm just trying
it's like placebo.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of how it feels a lot of the time with mastering. But yeah, I feel like it's tough now because like what you said before, the approach of wanting to be able to do it all. I feel like that's become way more common than it used to be. Yeah. Especially in like certain genres as well, because like you made this album like musically, like you wrote your own beats, you rapped on it, and then you were also involved in the production. That's like got to be tough to go from start to finish.
Yeah, I find that it requires a lot more time. Like you've got to be really full on. Like if I were to just do rapping, then like I would be way better at rapping than I am now, because I would have all the time that I've spent on all of this stuff like just towards rapping. Yeah. But I want to be like really good at like all of the things that I do, so I've got to like dedicate way more time towards doing like all of these different things to try like get better. And also one thing that I've kind of noticed is that you can't be the best in every field. So like you got to kind of pick which ones kind of relate to you the best, and then just like put all your chips in that to try get as good as you can at that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's super hard to be a jack of all trades and be good at them.
Yeah, like, definitely.
What do you think you prefer at the moment?
I think I prefer, the most fun for me is probably rapping.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I love rapping. Yeah, so much fun. Making beats and rapping, just that whole process of like making a song is just like really enjoyable and really fun to me. Yeah. I just love like when I make a nice beat and when I hear a nice beat just in general, and it's really like I'm really vibing with the beat, then just being able to like just get up and rap over the beat, put vocals over it is just like a really like fun in the moment thing for me. So that's probably the most enjoyable part of it. But I've actually come to get a bit of more of an appreciation for mixing as well. Yeah. Because at first when I started it was very like tedious and frustrating. Yeah. But now like when I do it, it's really like satisfying hearing an end product that you're like really happy with.
Yeah. You kind of bring it all together as well.
Yeah. Which is nice.
Especially when you did everything up until that point. Like,
exactly. Yeah.
Having full control over like where you take it. It's a nice skill to have.
Yeah, definitely.
And like production and stuff as well. Like being able to make your own beats and then getting inspired and like wanting to rap on them would be a good feeling.
Yeah, definitely. And it kind of like helps being able to make my own beats, because I know what kind of stuff that I like and I know what kind of stuff that I'll be able to rap over. So like instead of like searching for ages for a beat, it's easier for me to just kind of like make one that I will like I will like and be able to rap over.
Yeah, and I was talking to a couple of people as well about like it's a pretty good industry to get into because like so many people want beats like just to fuck around with. Like they don't even need to release them.
Yeah, exactly.
And, like, if you can just start pumping them out, you can just sell them, and like that can be your job. Like, and that's a pretty. I reckon that'd be one of the most fun jobs.
Yeah,
like,
and that's the thing as well is like with like nowadays there's like more people, like you were saying, like more people trying to do like everything mix master and like all of that by themselves. There's also like way more people trying to rap as well. So every rapper needs a beat, but not every beat needs a rapper. People will listen to the beat, but no one's going to listen to like a rapper just rapping with no beat. No one's going to actually like play that.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people, and I'd say there's more people trying to rap than trying to make beats as well. So that kind of works out pretty well. Like, yeah, everyone needs beats. Every rapper needs beats.
Yeah. Well, there's a rapper called Odyssey that I really like, and he released an album that was just instrumental. Like, and he made all the beats, and some of them are really good. Like,
yeah.
There's one that I've heard all over the place. I can't remember the name of it, but it was like everywhere. I was hearing it on like YouTube videos and stuff everywhere.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't know it was him. And then I was listening to his other albums, the one where he was actually rapping. And I got to that one and I was just like, oh, fuck, this was him. Like, he's really good at making beats. Like, and he makes all of his own stuff. And like, as far as I know.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, it's so like, I don't know. I get very inspired by it because...
Yeah, me too. Because it's one thing to just be like, especially for like people who have like succeeded well with like rapping and that, it's one thing to like, it's difficult enough to just succeed in like rapping and music or like something like that. But to succeed in two fields of that, like rapping and making beats, and then like even more on top of that, rapping, making beats and mixing, like to have like, to like attain success in like all of those fields, it's just like, wow, that's like impressive.
He's a talented person.
Yeah, for sure, definitely.
So who's kind of inspired you in the rapping area? Because you're wearing an Outcast shirt, which is...
Yeah. Well, over the time, I've had a lot of different like inspirations with my music. When I was a lot younger, it was more like kind of like traditional rap focused, I would say, like kind of more like bars and like old school beats, stuff like that. It was a lot of like old stuff like Tupac, NWA, Snoop, Ice Cube, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
As I kind of got a little bit older, I started listening to a bit more like, I don't know what to call it, kind of like not old school, but not new school, kind of that middle phase of like A$AP Rocky and like, like Kendrick and like J. Cole, Joey Badass. Oh, Joey Badass used to be one of my favorites. He's absolute GOAT.
Yeah.
But I've still got like a huge appreciation for all that kind of like lyrical rap and like all of that old stuff, but definitely the stuff that I listen to way more now is like the newer stuff, like Young Thug and Future are like my favorite artists. I'd say I listen to a lot of like Lil Baby and like Gunna, a lot of stuff like that. I put Young Thug and Future so high up because like they kind of changed the direction that rap was like headed in, or the direction that it had been going in for so long. Yeah,
for sure, absolutely.
Yeah, because like for so long it was just, even like, I forgot to mention Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne's a GOAT. But even like up until, I don't know if, Thug and Future I'd say were some of the first ones to change it, because like up until then it was way more just like focused on the bars and the rapper, and like every rapper was like, I'm gonna be the dopest rapper, I got the hardest bars in the world, like no one can out rap me. But like now it's way more like focused on just like making the best music, working with the music, rather than like trying to just have the best bars that you can. And I really like appreciate that kind of stuff, because it's way like, in my opinion, it's way nicer to listen to, like when an artist can work with the beat well, rather than just kind of like overpower the beat with their bars. It
can be a bit, I know exactly what you mean, because like I've always really liked that lyrical stuff as well. Sometimes it's like, it can be a chore to listen to almost. You feel like you want to like analyze it, like you want to make sure you're like understanding all the like double meanings and like why it's so impressive, and you're like, oh fuck, this is so clever, but like you can't always just sit back and like enjoy it.
Exactly.
And like Future's a good person to kind of be inspired by, because he's done everything that you've been saying like you want to do. He's kind of like known for that, like he can do it all.
And also like Future and Thug as well, it's even like more amazing to me because like just because of like where they came from and like how they had to do everything on their own to get to like the stage that they're at. That's just like super inspiring. Just like no help from like other people kind of things. Just like that is like a dedicated person that knows what they want and is like going to get it by any means.
Yeah. And how old are they now? Like how old's Future?
Oh, Future's like, he's kind of old. Not old, but he's like 36, 38, something like that.
But it's like he's old to be like setting the path, you know what I mean? Like, you'd expect it to be younger dudes that are kind of like coming up that change the direction of things, but like he absolutely changed it like later on in life as well. And then like even Kendrick is still doing a lot. Like when he dropped his latest album, like a lot of people were like, holy fuck, like he's still as kind of creative as he's always been. Yeah,
definitely. I think the thing with that, like with Future and Kendrick as examples, like I think it's because they've like been people who their music doesn't try to follow a trend or follow what's hot. They're just like Future specifically, he's constantly experimenting with himself and pushing his own boundaries and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So even as he gets a bit older and stuff, his music is still evolving because he's not trying to like follow what's hot or what's popping at the moment. He's just like pushing his own limits like every single time he gets in the studio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you feel like you're going to be able to do that going forward? It's like it must be kind of intimidating.
Oh yeah. Well, in my head, the way to get the best at something is to spend as much time as you physically can. Like, because like the person spending more time than the other person on that task is probably going to be better than them. And it's not like just about spending time, but also about like what you do with the time you spend on it. Like trying to like critique yourself and get better in those aspects and all that. So I think, like I heard Young Thug said in an interview one time that he spends 16 hours a day in the studio. Like that's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, that's insane.
I've heard Wayne talking about how many songs he's got, like finished songs, like in just at his studio, like that he's never going to release.
Yeah.
Most of them, hundreds. And it's like, how does he have that much? Because he just lives there. Yeah, he's always there.
Yeah, exactly. That's what like most of them. And like I like the way of recording has changed as well over time. Like now, like a lot of the kind of newer artists like Thug, Future, and kind of most of them that come after those two, they don't like write rap, they don't write lyrics and that, they don't take the regular approach. It's kind of like a way more natural, like they kind of just freestyle everything, which is also why they can like get so much content out, because like they've, instead of like taking the time and like getting better at writing verses, put all that time in just being able to like, it's like cutting out the middleman of the pen and paper. It's just straight up like your thoughts straight onto the mic. So they just hear a beat, they go into the studio, they record it in like 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes, the song's done, and they can just keep on going to the next.
Yeah. So it's almost like how some singers approach it, which is interesting because it's like rappers always, at least in the early like 2000s, late 90s and stuff, it was all about, as we said, like lyricism and stuff. But like I've heard a lot of singers with similar approaches where they'll talk about how they just like got a song or they started writing something like on guitar, like a riff or something.
Yeah.
And they would just maybe try and sing something over the top of that or hum a melody that comes to mind and then just record it with whatever lyrics just popped into their head.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's interesting that that's what rap has kind of become as well. In a similar, like obviously not everyone is like that. There's still plenty of people that kind of do lyrics first and then make things fit around it. But it's like blending, because it's like it's the most popular genre on earth now.
It has been for a little bit, I think.
Actually, it has been for a while.
But I think also part of the reason of why it is the most popular genre of the on the earth is because it's so like broad nowadays. Like, and that's also part of like what you were saying, how they take like the singer's approach a lot of the times. Like you can kind of hear in the music now, like now rap has become a lot more like blended between rapping and singing. Like take it back like 10, 20 years, 10, 15 years kind of thing. Rap was rap and like rap, like bars kind of thing, just like someone talking bars or rapping bars, and singing was like melodic and had like range and pitch. But now it's like they've like blended the two. Like most rappers nowadays are kind of like they incorporate that melodic kind of side into it.
And that's kind of what you did on like specifically Purple, but on like on the tracks that I heard you rapping on, you were singing as well. Like it was kind of like melodic rap. And it's like as we kind of said earlier, it's just pleasant to listen to in comparison.
Exactly. I think like I think like a big part of putting vocals on a song, rather than like just the lyrics and that, is also the pitch and the flow and the melody of it, because that's what people kind of like people like pay more attention to and like actually hear about it. So yeah, I think that's super important to have a nice flow and nice pitch and nice melodics, as well as like a good verse too.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we might even show another track from the album now, because I know there are plenty on there that I would really like to show off, and I'm sure you do too.
Yeah, definitely.
Is there another track in particular that you would want us to show?
Other than the purple one, the other one that I did was the blue one as well.
Sure.
I got a female vocalist, Blanche, in to sing some vocals for that.
Yeah.
That actually went really well. She ended up like for the backing vocals, she we recorded like I think 4 different layers of her harmonizing with herself.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that kind of, we put that in the background throughout the whole beat, and I think that added like a really nice extra element to it.
Yeah, awesome. Well, we'll have a listen to that and we'll be back after.
Yeah, cool.
In the sky, you can see my house. Hear the words when they leave my mouth. I'll be
floating around the waters, don't know where to go yet. Trusting in the process, just gotta let it flow.
And we're back. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to say fuck great. I hate these like coming back in and shit. I don't know how to do it. That felt awkward. Yeah, no, we did the song, so we'll just talk about this.
News anchor.
Oh yeah, no, I felt like fucking Grant Denyer or something. Yeah, I mean, we should actually show the artwork. Can we like get that in frame? Is that something we can do? Yeah, maybe just like pick it up and like put it forward just so people can see it, because like
What? Yeah, just like kind of
the artwork. Yeah,
show it a bit, or just
yeah. That's good, just like that. Just because so Jack Farago.
That might be covered by the font. Yeah.
Just
like hold up in front of your head, just like, yo, this is the album. Yeah.
yo.
There's the album. Yeah, so Jack Farago made the artwork for that. And he also did the stuff that you've been seeing alongside the music up until this point, all the design for that. And he did all the design for this as well. So big shout out to him. He's doing everything for everyone.
He's done a great job for our group this time. Yeah, he's been doing a lot of work, definitely.
The visualizer stuff looks so cool.
I'm so happy with it. It looks amazing. Yeah, he's done great.
Yeah,
definitely.
He's an awesome dude to work with.
For sure.
And yeah, and kind of speaking about working on stuff, I want to hear more about the production of this album.
Okay.
Because we've talked a lot about your influences and kind of like your direction and what you enjoy. So how do you think that kind of influenced this? Like, did you have these ideas kind of rolling around before you released the album, or?
Nah. Well, with this one, I tried to like take the approach of not being influenced by any other artists and music for it, because I wanted to base it mainly off of the research I've done mainly, but also like just off of what I think and what my peers, like from the feedback sessions and all that, what we think best suits the color blue.
Yeah.
So a lot of times when I have like reference tracks and I go to other artists as like inspiration for stuff, then it kind of like clouds my head a little bit, and then I can't really make exactly what I want to make. So I didn't want that to happen. So I kind of just like, mainly for the blue one specifically, I was thinking like a lot of like water and like the sky was like things that was coming to my head a lot for the color blue.
Yeah.
Because I think those are two like common natural occurring things that everyone can like instantly link to the color blue.
Yeah.
So for that, in the blue song, I had like some rain samples in the background, just pretty quiet, just ambient rain noises. And I had, in the start of it, I've got, a sample of, you know, that Bruce Lee speech, and he's like, "Be like water, my friend." Yeah. So I put that sample in the start of it just to kind of like relate the listener to water, and also because it's a really like calming, soothing kind of like talking sample. So I thought it suited the vibe of it pretty well.
Yeah, absolutely. So you started by building the beat, and then you kind of just like, as you said, like freestyled over it.
Kind of sort of like we started this one. I had a bit of help with making the chords for the beat, because I'm not as well versed in music theory as I'd like to be. So I had one of my friends, the one who sang the vocals for the blue one, actually, she's really good at like chords and music theory related stuff, all of that. So she played the chords in first, and then I played a counter melody over the top of it on, I think it was like a flute sound. And then I built the drums around that and put the bass in. I wanted like a kind of like big and powerful bass to kind of like, because I wanted the song to be like a pretty big and powerful song as well. So I think a bass is pretty like key part of that.
Yeah.
And then I thought the layered vocals as well that we added would just add to that like big powerful effect of it kind of thing. And so we got the beat down, and then she did the hook first. So
right, okay.
Yeah, we came up with like the melody and the lyrics of the hook together, and then she just like sung it in. And after that, because I usually like freestyle to get the flows and the ideas of it, and then I'll like kind of like edit that, kind of just like freestyle new takes in off of that. But because this one, I wanted it to relate to Blue and like in the lyrics as well. So I thought the best way to do that would be to write the verse. So I did freestyle like a lot of it to get the flow and the ideas of it down and all of that.
Yeah.
But then I just kind of went over it afterwards and just filled out some of the spaces, took them out, and then just like wrote words to make it actually relate to the color blue properly.
Yeah, right. Kind of like refined it once you got the general idea of what you wanted to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, definitely.
So how did you find like working collaboratively? Because like the albums, it's not just you on it, it's kind of your idea. But you had other people producing stuff, and how did you find that process?
Well, I found that actually pretty good. Like it took a lot of stress off of me kind of thing. So I wasn't doing like all of the work for it, and it was good working with other people because like bouncing ideas off. We get like ideas that I wouldn't have come up with on my own, and they kind of like make stuff that's different to what I would have made, but then I can still kind of have my input and be like, oh, I think you should maybe try this out, try that out kind of thing. But it was good working with Blanche when making my Blue song, like because I kind of knew what sound and what feel I wanted to get from it, but I didn't know how to actually I didn't know what chords to play and what notes to play to get that. So having her there to be like, oh yeah, just try this out, that was like, oh yeah, cool, sweet, we'll go with that. So yeah, it took a bit of stress off of me, definitely.
Yeah, I feel like that kind of production style is a good way to approach it, especially to find something a bit more unique or kind of interesting, like going with an idea in mind. I remember I heard the producer that made Passion Fruit by Drake, or the beat for that song, talking about how he thought of like clouds, like he was looking at the sky and he was thinking about clouds like drifting through the sky, and he tried to make a beat that felt like that. Yeah, okay. And so he went for like marimba stuff, because I remember I think Drake's team went through a phase of like loving marimba. Yeah. Which I'm cool with because I played marimba in high school. So I was like, fuck yeah, marimba representation. Yeah. But and I think that beat is just, it's so nice. It's so relaxing. And he kind of captured what he like was going for. Yeah. And I feel like the same's happened with you. Like you can hear the influence of water and stuff. Yeah. And it's weird because it's kind of, it's interesting that instead of being kind of producing it because you like the sounds, I guess, you kind of have a theme in mind. Yeah. And it leads to something a little bit more creative, I think. Yeah, definitely. I find that it's always a completely different result that you get when you go into it just trying to make whatever sounds good, as opposed to trying to make something specific. I'm not saying like either one is better than the other. I actually prefer just kind of going in and like just kind of finding it naturally and just like flowing with it at the time. Yeah. But it is a completely different result doing it like that, as opposed to like actually going in with the purpose for it. Yeah. So it's cool to see. I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I took that approach this time, because it's cool to see like, I don't know, like me, it's cool to see myself make something different than what I would usually make, and also like hit the goal that I was trying to hit as well. Yeah. So yeah, no, it was cool. It was cool doing it, that approach. Yeah, kind of like switching up your workflow a little bit. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. That's awesome. Well, I'm glad it paid off, and like I hope you're happy with the album, because like it sounded sick when I heard it, and I'm excited to hear everything, because I've only heard like sections of it. Yeah. So it's dropping on Spotify on Friday, did you say, and Apple Music? Yeah, if everything goes smoothly, then Friday. I've uploaded it to DistroKid on Sunday, so usually they take about 5 days to process it and approve it and all that. So if that all goes smoothly, then it'll be up on Friday, but if not, it should be out on everything next Monday. Yeah, cool. Well, Friday is the same day that this episode is getting released. Oh, so cool. Perfect. If you're listening to this and you want to check it out, then yeah, it should be available on every platform. Yeah. To have a listen, and and yeah, let Just know what you think.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm sure, because it's been, I know from personal experience, this project has been time consuming and
oh yeah, for sure, definitely. Yeah, even for me, it's like especially with the Purple one, because I don't usually like write lyrics with a specific purpose, it was really, really difficult. I had like probably like literally like 100 takes or more of just freestyles, trying different flows and different ideas and that time and time over, thinking I was happy with one, then listening to it back and being like, nah, that's trash. I got to redo that.
Yeah. So
it has been very time consuming, and it's good to see that it's like paid off to a point that I'm pretty happy with it at the moment.
Yeah. It's like creativity, mixing creativity with I guess university or like any sort of like academia is like a really weird thing to do, because it's hard to be creative and also like do all this research and stuff and then kind of justify it without getting in your own head a little bit.
Yeah,
that's what I found.
Definitely. I've also found like a lot of like the kind of like academic side of it kind of boxes me in a bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like limits the creativity a bit, because I've got to base it off research and justify everything I do in the song with research and that. But like a lot of the stuff that I wanted to do in the song, it was just because it sounded nice. I didn't have like the research to back it up.
Yeah.
So
that's what creativity is. Like it's about just having an idea and making it happen. That's kind of like
exactly.
creating.
Yeah.
But like it must be nice to know. I mean, I know for me as well, we've built skills here.
Yep.
And going forward, you can just kind of do whatever you want.
Definitely. I've always been a person that's terrible with like organization and all of that stuff. And I've even found through having to like do reflections on all the projects and all of that and write all the stuff down, have like feedback group meetings and all of that. It's actually helped a lot in my like personal life with organization and all of that. Like it's not as much of a chore for me. Yeah.
I know feedback has been the thing that's like my opinion of that has changed so drastically while I've been here, because especially with music, I get super self-conscious about showing people stuff. Like I hate it because I'm never really that happy with anything that I like write. So I like I'll have ideas and stuff and they just live on Pro Tools at home and I'll never show anyone ever.
Yeah, I got plenty as well.
Yeah. And I'm like, I want to start showing people shit more, because I found while I was here, getting feedback just on anything, it always led to something better.
Definitely.
And like, it got to a point where I started to love it, because it was like, it felt like instructions. You know what I mean? Like a good way to move forward with the project, especially when I'm like stuck on something, because I might be kind of like, maybe writing something or doing something, and I'll get to a point where I don't know what to do next, and I'm like, I can't figure out where to go from here. And showing it to someone sometimes leads to them just telling you what they think you should do.
It's good to have that like extra input of like where to go, because like often, like I think most people are pretty critical on their own stuff that they make. I definitely am, but like when I make something and then it's like lacking a bit or it's not as good as I want it to be, I've like exhausted all the options in my head of where I think it can improve, then it's really good going to someone else and them just being like, oh, maybe you should do this differently. And it's like different things that I would have never thought of to improve about it. So I've found the exact same thing actually. I've like over the time, I've always kind of liked getting feedback, but now I really, really value getting feedback, because it's just that extra input, the extra voice kind of telling you something like where it's lacking in an area that you might not have seen yourself. So
I think especially when you're taking this approach of doing everything on your own, like you lose a bit of that without trying to get feedback. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
So it's so important to, because I know for me personally, like sometimes you can just kind of go down a rabbit hole. And then at the end you show someone and they're like, what the fuck is this? Like, why did you do that? And you're like, oh, fuck. Well, I was trying to, actually it sounds like shit.
I've been here for 5 hours.
Making this. And you're like, why did I do that? Like, because you were just like kind of, stuck in like one rigid train of thought. But it's a good thing, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, for sure. 100%.
Yeah. So I think, going forward, where can people find you? Like, if anyone wants to reach out to you after hearing this, are you going to be, doing sessions and stuff at your place?
Yep, definitely. I'm getting as many sessions as I can going at the moment. So if anyone needs any like recording, mixing, anything like that at all, then maybe Instagram would be a good way to hit me up on j.norm_.
Yeah, right.
Pretty sure that's yeah.
I think so.
J.Norm. Yeah. J.Norm _ on Instagram. I've also got music out on SoundCloud and Apple Music and Spotify and all of that stuff. Or
If they want to hear more of your stuff.
Yeah. If they want to hear anything else. I've got a lot more music just kind of like unreleased rather like than released. So I'm just trying to like work on releasing a bunch of stuff at the moment.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, there's a bit of stuff out for people to have a listen to.
Absolutely. And are you kind of like looking to mix everything? Like,
yeah.
So you're like, regardless of genre, regardless of like anything, you just want to
definitely.
do it
I
all.
think it'd be good to get all the experience I can mixing all different genres. I've had a bit of experience, even through SAE, I've had a bit of experience mixing different genres. I mainly do like rap and like trap, R&B-ish kind of like that kind of focus, hip-hop kind of related stuff.
Yeah.
But I've had a bit of experience doing like kind of like more rock tracks and like, different kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm definitely keen to try as many different genres as I can.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I hope that, you know, it all goes well for you going ahead, because scary time graduating and kind of having to figure out what we're going to do in the industry. I'm like,
yeah, for sure.
I'm at a bit of a loss, but yeah, I'm excited.
Same.
I'm sure you are too. Yeah, man. So yeah, thanks for coming on. It was nice to chat with you.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's good to be here.
Yeah, awesome. Well, that's it.
Cool.
Thanks for checking out this week's episode. That's actually the end of season 1. So we're going to be taking a brief hiatus. But if you enjoyed the show, please let us know some people you'd like to see on in the future. The link to all our socials is in the description below. And yeah, thank you for everyone that came on, and thank you for everyone that listened. We really appreciate it, and we'll see you again.